Oh,
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dead Funny Review Show. I'm your host, Chris. Showing today is my co-host, James, and we are continuing on our holiday game marathon for review shows. Woot, woot. So there's a couple games that are going to be coming out that are kind of going to work out perfect for a review show releasing on Wednesday. So there, at this point in time, there's really no rhyme or reason to what we're doing when we're doing it type deal. But some of them are going to be a little bit more strategic than the one that you're going to see today, which is Final Fantasy 16. Super fucking pumped. Fucking love the series, obviously. Huge fucking fan, but it doesn't come out until like fucking 2021, possibly holiday 2021. Yeah, which sucks because I want to fucking play it today. It'd be great. But James is about to start playing Final Fantasy games, he says. Whether he actually does it or not, that's a different story.
I downloaded the emulator. So
You downloaded the emulator, and you have 1 and 2 on the emulator, PSP upgraded, the ones that you guys have seen me play on the channel and on my Twitch. And then you also have 7 due to Game Pass, right?
yeah. Well, 1 and 2 are on there, 7's on there, 10's on there, 10-2's on there, 11's on there.
Really? 11?
7, 8, 9. Chronicles, Origins, Tactics.
You're talking about the PSP emulator.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me that a lot of that shit's on there. That's normally what emulators are. They fucking can take, I mean, there's somewhere out there the granddaddy emulator that you can fucking play Nintendo games or PlayStation games or Xbox games, whatever the fuck you want to on it. Doesn't matter. Yeah, those have been around for a fucking while. But, yeah, so I know I've talked about this a little bit on the podcast. Haven't went into too much of a deep dive on it yet because I wanted to wait for a review show. And once again, this is going to be based off of the reveal trailer because we have not gotten anything else yet. As we move closer, I'm sure I'll want to do more shows on this, as this is, in my opinion, just from all the lore and stuff that I've been looking into, is probably going to be my second favorite Final Fantasy of all time. I'm pretty much in love with everything from the art style to the characters. I mean, even the main protagonist, I think he looks like a fucking badass. I'm super fucking pumped about it. But yeah, so we'll kind of go into it. We'll talk a little bit. Those of you who aren't big Final Fantasy fans and kind of wondering what's going on, I'll be able to kind of explain that a little bit further as well, especially for James here, who doesn't play the series. Because they're kind of doing something different that they've never done before, which is pretty interesting, and I'm pumped to kind of see how that's all going to turn out. But as we normally do, I'll go ahead and have the trailer up so that way everybody can see it as we kind of go forward here, and we can sit here and kind of talk about our views. And yeah, should be a lot of fucking fun, dude. I'm so pumped for this game. I'm so excited. But anyways, so one of the things to go ahead and point out for a lot of people who are kind of wondering, we are not going to actually be getting it on PC. Not for a while, at least. I know a lot of people saw that and were all like, "Oh, we're going to get it on PC," and it's at the very end. It's like also on PC or something like that. It's going to be basically on PlayStation. That's just all there is to that. But let me go ahead and actually turn the sound down a little bit further on this. I don't want to get hit with no copyright strikes. But anyways, so something that's really, really cool to point out that we're going to kind of already see kind of going into the trailer. When we start out here at this campfire scene and these guys are talking about we're here for Shiva's dominant and only the dominant. And they're all like, how do we know that she's going to be here? So basically the big things that you see in fighting, which are Titan and Shiva, are 2 Aeons. In this, they call them icons for some reason, and I'm not sure why. It's the first time they've ever used that kind of language as far as I know that of using that for Aeons. But basically Aeons are mystical creatures. Some look at them as deities that they can summon to help them in battle, and it's always been something that's like a big stretch type deal for you to pull off on the newer games versus the older games where it was more of just a aspect of like it still kind of was a one type deal because there were certain Aeons where you could only summon them once in battle, It just really depended on the game. But anyways, the main thing to point out here is that normally you had like materia or something where you could summon this Aeon. In this game, it sounds like there are certain people who were able to actually turn into these icons, as they call them, which is very fucking different from any other game. There's not been another game that's done that yet. And what it sounds like is that the main group that, because basically the way I think the game's going to play out is we're going to be a lot of it's obviously going to be chapters like every other game, but it'd be like chapter 1 we're in this medieval aspect right here, and then chapter 2 we're going to be the adult version of the protag, which we see fight the big fat thing right here, which is part of that mercenary group that's there to capture or kill dominants, which are the people who can turn into the icons. So it's going to be a lot of switching back and forth because that's obviously the same character, just different, different age. So I'm pretty pumped to see how that's going to play out, and why he went from. I mean, it's got to be something to do with the little kid. That's the biggest key factor here, is that he's hired in his younger state to protect this kid. And now, as he's older, he's all about hunting down these people who can turn into icons. And they said that the kid could turn into an icon. They said that he's the Phoenix. That 100% has been even said in an interview. So we know the kid turns into Phoenix, and that's Ifrit. And that's Ifrit fighting Phoenix. So something happens that to this guy to where he's like, fuck this icon. People or dominants are fucking bad. We need to get rid of them from being like the fucking kid's overall protector. So I'm kind of interested to see how that happens. If like the kid fucking just becomes like this evil fucking prick and uses like the fucking powers of Phoenix to just go around and just start like fucking just murdering people left and fucking right. Like I'm pretty fucking pumped about it, dude. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what's just kind of just shifted his views, just to go from protecting somebody for so long to hating everything about him that he's gonna be fucking hunting him down. And just to be able to understand, because in my opinion, what I kind of saw here too, which I liked a lot, was it has a very Game of Thrones ish feel to it, where they were talking about like how people were backstabbing people and not being there whenever they had swore their sword and stuff like that. And in my opinion, I think that that's going to be really fucking cool when it comes down to certain things like actually this trailer might not be the best because it does this for a while. Oh, I'll just keep fucking pulling it out and restarting it. Whatever, we're here. We made our bed, we're gonna lay in it. But anyways, but so it's got that Game of Thrones feel, and for those of you who have seen Game of Thrones, you know what I'm talking about, where it's all this backstabbing stuff and all this other things. It'd be cool if like certain houses are built after the icon that's kind of been passed down through like royal bloodline. You know what I mean? Where it's like the king and the queen, like the king was the phoenix and they had the son. Now the son possesses the power of the phoenix, and so on and so forth. And that there's these other houses, and it's this big fucking like kingdom ish type war where they're all going to war because they have these fucking dominants that can turn into icons. And that would be so fucking cool, dude. But I just, like I said, so far all I know is that Phoenix and Shiva are both like royalty. Like her fighting Titan, as far as I know, I don't know where the fuck that came out of. It sounded like they didn't even know that that was an icon. Because he's all like, sir, they're summoned an icon. And dude's like, icon, I think it's a fucking mountain. Like, sounds like they didn't know Titan was in the fucking game. So that's pretty fucking sweet. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Like I said, this is a return back to the roots. Final Fantasy definitely started as more of a medieval type RPG, and I really love that about the game. Don't get me wrong, like 7's still my favorite, and it's not medieval, but you know, it's still got the swords and stuff, which is what I like. The combat in this game looks so fucking flawless. It's ridiculous. Like how fast this kid can move and like the teleporting and shit like that. Like it looks like it's gonna be fucking insane. I love that kind of combat style. There's just not enough games out there that do it right. Like for instance, Final Fantasy VII's remake, it's pretty flawless, but at the same time, it's not as high speed as this one is. Like Cloud still has to do like rolls to get out of the way and shit, and like the movement speed to where this kid's fucking just teleporting all over the fucking place, summoning that Phoenix wing out. Like I mean, it's so fast paced, dude. Oh my god, I'm in love with it. I can't wait. I can't wait to try it out. It's gonna be so good.
Definitely looks really good.
Like just, I mean, all those fucking combos in a row, dude. Oh man.
For a kid.
But But see, that's going to be another thing that I'm very interested about is like you can see like during the fighting scenes where he's like summoning like Titan's fist and Phoenix's wing and shit like that. Like that seems to be like a special power of an icon, and I wonder how that's done as well. I'm really wondering how that's done because like is that like a magic spell he has to learn? Is that a gift that he gets from the fucking dominant? Because we saw at the very beginning that kid did something to his hand. So I wonder if that's, kind of like a symbol of that. I don't know. I'm speculating here. I have no fucking clue. All speculations.
Yeah,
But
it'd be really cool if every time he killed one of those icons, if he got an ability for
ooh,
it.
that would be cool. Except the only thing that doesn't add up is how he would get it from the kid from the beginning. Unless we're seeing late gameplay. That could be late gameplay. Like he actually does have
Yeah.
to end up killing the kid. That would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, kind of like a druid aspect. Like druids, they would be able to shapeshift into the creatures that they killed, be able
Hmm.
to harness some of the power of the dom or the icons that you slayed. That'd be pretty cool. And that would be even raise more questions too. Why, like, could he actually? What happens to the icon's power? Does he become the new dominant? If you kill a dominant, do you become a new dominant? Can you then turn into that icon? Like, there's so many fucking questions, dude. Fuck, this game can't come out fast enough, bro. Oh my god, I want this game tomorrow, dude. I'm telling you, this is
Don't
gonna be the best.
Well, don't worry. They'll release another trailer here soon, answering all of your
No,
questions.
they
Not
won't.
really, but leaving you with a lot more. So,
They won't answer shit, dude. Not a goddamn thing. Oh, but yeah, the Pro Tag looks really, really cool. I like his younger version a lot more than his older version, but I'm okay with both. He looks like a badass character, so I'm pretty pumped to kind of see his story, get to know him a little bit more, understand, like I said, his whole transition from where he was at to where he's now, and why he hates these fucking dominants. It's gonna be
in
nuts, dude.
in some of the older Final Fantasies, did they have like that whole like battleground type fighting?
What do you mean by battleground?
Well, like where we just seen them all fighting in the field or whatever, or
Um,
fighting each other?
I mean, there's always been like battles and stuff, but I don't know if we're actually going to participate in that. But I mean, there's always been. I mean, yeah, I would say like Final Fantasy, the later ones definitely have, not the older ones, the later ones. Like you're talking about like where there's like a massive amount of people, you can go in there,
Uh-huh.
fuck shit up, cut stuff up. I mean, the later ones I would say yes. The older ones I would say no because you got to remember Final Fantasy at its base game was more of the turntable aspect where it's like the
Hmm.
enemy gets to go and then I get to go and then the enemy gets to go then I get to go and it's kind of how it's always been until about I mean, 12 was probably where they really broke those bounds. I mean, 10 of them kind of somewhat broke the bounds, but 12 was like where they really broke those bounds and started to move away from that. And it's just continued to go along that path now that it's getting to the newer age, man. They want the hack and slash, the run really fast and stuff. It's just the newer age of games what people are into. They're just not into the old school fucking let's take turns. That's just that's a style that just is gonna die, and Final Fantasy has to change with it or get left behind.
I mean, yeah, because it definitely does not look like a turn-based
No, it's
fighting.
not even close. I mean, even seven was turn based, and then they came out with the remake where it's hack and slash, but you can hit classical mode, which kind of makes it turn based, but kind of not. It wasn't like 100% perfect, but it was like as close as they could get with the new age of gaming. So you could click classic mode, go in, and basically what would happen is that the enemy would always be blocking and Cloud would always be blocking until their ATB bar filled. And once that filled, then they would actually launch an attack versus just doing normal attacks that cost no ATB at all. And basically, whenever you got the ATB, you would then use your special hits. And that's
Yeah.
more of what it was like in the old game because you would just wait, then it was your turn, then you would tell Cloud to do what you want him to do, and so on and so forth, depending who it is that's on your team. Um, One of the things that I like is that ever since Final Fantasy One, it's always like the story has kind of depending on game to game, but the majority of the older ones all have been shaped around this legacy of the crystals. And so for him to literally do that whole like the legacy of the crystals has shaped our world for long enough, like I'm so fucking pumped about like where they're taking this fucking story and to see like how they're just making this huge turn, because the person who is writing and directing this, so whenever Final Fantasy 11 came out, it was the worst one that ever hit the shelves. And the reason why is because it was their first time doing a massive multiplayer online. So even though it's considered to be 11, the actual like canon aspect of it, it's not an actual numbered title. Same thing goes with 14. 14 is also a massive multiplayer online, and it was terrible. And they were done by the same director both times. The guy who is doing this is the guy they brought in to try and like actually bring the online multiplayer to where it should be. That was the whole point in this one. And basically with that is he released a couple of different DLCs for 14 that basically revamped the entire game, including obviously updates and shit that revamped the entire game. And like people are fucking in love with it now. Like I even want to pick it up. Like at first I was like, I'm not. First off, it didn't score that high, and two, I don't really want to pay a fucking online subscription to play a fucking Final Fantasy game when I already had to pay an online subscription. Well, now that I've basically have moved to fucking PC from Xbox, it really doesn't bother me that much anymore. One and two, now that it's like fucking amazing, it's like I kind of want to fucking try it out. And so they're bringing him in on this project. So with him being able to literally turn 14 completely around, I feel pretty confident that he's going to make a pretty fucking decent goddamn game. And I don't know if he's like the sole director. I know he's like a big part of this. I think there's someone else that also helps out as well, and I don't think he's as known. But yeah, the other guy definitely helped like really knock this out. Because what's cool about Final Fantasy, or well, not Final Fantasy, but Square Enix, should I say, is that they make multiple games. You got Kingdom Hearts and shit like that too. But they literally have a fucking division that's separated into three halves, or three parts. And it's one part is literally for the continuation of Final Fantasy. So obviously your 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then your MMO division, which literally just focuses on 14 at this point until they go to do another MMO. And then you have their remake division, which is going to be working on Final Fantasy VII until they're done with that, and then they'll move on to the next one they want to do a remake on. It's fucking sweet, dude. So it's like we literally went from getting like a Final Fantasy every once in a while to where now if you play Final Fantasy and you fucking get the remakes and you fucking play the MMO, it's like fucking Final Fantasy goddamn year round, almost like another Call of Duty aspect. It's Final Fantasy all the goddamn time, just not made by different companies. It's all made by the same, because they actually, and I'm so glad they chose not, they took it back. But they actually were going to outsource their remake department. Their remake department was actually Final Fantasy VII. The beginning of the remake was actually worked on by a different company. And then they scrapped it and said, if someone's going to do a Final Fantasy, it has to be in-house. It has to be Square Enix. We can't trust this to another company. We just can't. So they fired that department, scrapped the fucking game entirely, and then started all over again. And then we got what we got, which was great. I fucking loved it. So I'm really excited for the future of Final Fantasy, especially with this being the next like hardcore installment. 15, there were some issues that they had where the DLC that was supposed to come out ended up getting canceled due to, I think it was like one of the directors had like health issues, and then after that they just never picked it back up. They just focused more on 14 at that point. So for them to kind of like leave the fans a little in suspense of like, well, fuck, we really wanted to fucking see this, to moving on to like, this is going to be the next installment, we're going to see it all the way through. I'm pretty fucking pumped for that. So like I said, looks good as shit. It sucks that it's coming to PlayStation first. Like I said, at the end of the trailer, it definitely does say also on PC. They've updated their newer trailers to where it doesn't say that. And that's because Sony, unfortunately, does get the timed exclusivity on all Final Fantasy games. So, yeah, right there. Also available on PC. That's a lie. So it'll probably be on PlayStation, my opinion, for 6 months, then come to PC. Then after that, go to other consoles. Or what they'll do, which is the same thing that they're doing for the remake, is that it's supposed to be on PlayStation for a full year. Then after that, they'll release it to PC and consoles. So we'll see. I would much rather be able to play this game right off the bat on my PC. I mean, just looking at the games and the game's graphics and visuals, and I'm sure, James, you agree with me on that one, that I'd rather play this right off the PC. Like,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
there's just not a fucking console out there right now that's going to be able to make this game look as gorgeous as it's supposed to. Besides, and a lot of people actually had issues with this first scene right here because the graphics on the characters don't look that good compared to later on in the trailer. And Square came out and said that like whenever they first were going to make a trailer, they grabbed some shit from the beginning and then they've worked on it since then. So they're like, the next trailer, don't worry, it's going to fucking blow your mind. But like looking at the campfire scene, like that one dude with the fucking, here, let me see if I can't pull that back right quick. It's like the dude with like the really short cut hair. Like it looks terrible. Like whenever they're looking down on him, just the way the graphic blends and shit. Yeah, that dude that's over there across from the protag guy. That he's about to, even he looks bad too, the blonde hair guy. But yeah, like the graphics on his hair, just they look terrible. So, like I said, a lot of that's obviously older shit, and they were like, yeah, we just kind of used it. Don't worry about it. Once again, this is just a reveal trailer. This is no finished product trailer whatsoever. So it just all depends on when we're gonna get it. I mean, if hopefully we're in a spot where like it's pretty safe to say that we're going to get the game in 2021, hopefully, but we'll see. Because in my opinion, the way I think the release is going to come out is we'll get this 2021, then we'll get the remake part 2 2022, and then whatever fucking comes out MMO wise after that. And then it'll be a while for we get Final Fantasy 17, probably get 3, maybe 4 years. So
Joke's on you. They're gonna release on the same day.
dude, I would have a heart attack. I would have a fucking. You know how hard it would be for me to choose which one to fucking play first? Like,
You go buy another PlayStation.
just so I can play them at the same time? Fuck yeah, dude. 2 PS5s? Let's go, dude. Liddy. Done. Game. Fuck. Well, my daughter needs what? I'm sorry, I can't do that. I gotta get 2 PlayStation 5s. You're crazy. Oh my god. I would, dude. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to fucking. I mean, I'd have to do 7 first. It would have to because it's my fucking favorite. But I would be dying to play this right afterwards. So, and it'd be the same thing, vice versa. If I was playing this, and I'd be like, God damn it, I want to get to the second part of the fucking remake. Don't do that to me, Square. Don't do that to me.
Please do it to
I love you guys. Don't do that to me.
Release
That
it
would be
2 days
rough.
apart.
Oh man, dude, that would be a fucking eventful 48 hours. I'm telling
We would
you,
not
bro.
see you at all.
At all, dude. There's zero chance I'd be on any content. There is zero chance I'd be playing anything else. I wouldn't even get on fucking Discord. Like, I'd just be straight just doing nothing but playing this shit. Oh my god. I'd lock myself away in a room with the TV, my PlayStation, and that's it. Nothing else. Oh man. No time to eat, no time to sleep, no time to shit, none of that. None of that.
You know
Oh
what's gonna
man.
suck though, right?
What's that?
You're gonna order it on digital download, and then your internet's gonna go out.
Oh, dude, I'd lose my fucking mind, dude.
And then after they fix your internet, your power's gonna go out.
Mm, I don't know, dude. I literally might be. I would unplug one of my monitors easily and fucking take it with me to like a fucking goddamn
Go to McDonald's.
Starbucks or some shit. Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. Hook up Wi-Fi. Let's go, dude.
Just go rent a motel just so you can play fucking Final
Hell
Fantasy.
yeah, dude.
Like, sorry, the
Absolutely.
internet was out of my place.
Absolutely, I would do that. Oh my god, dude. I'm gonna play the fuck out of this game.
I
It's
can
gonna
see
happen.
you doing that.
It's gonna happen. I hope they have a badass fucking pre-order for like a fucking legendary edition like they did with Final Fantasy VII. Ugh, some
So you can buy
statues
2
and shit.
copies again.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Buy my physical and my digital. Absolutely, sir. It's a year from now. And that's once again, that's just me guessing. There's absolutely zero release date out there. I want to make sure I'm being very open about that. Once again, zero fucking release date. Yeah.
Everybody
No,
attack
for
Chris.
sure.
You spreading lies.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm here for. But yeah, so other than that, like I said, there's really not too much to go on as we get more trailers. Even if I do them myself, I definitely want to do some more fucking reviews on this as we go forward.
For sure.
Like I said, fucking huge Final Fantasy fan, and 16 looks absolutely amazing. I see a lot of videos out there where they talk about like the story and the plots explained and stuff, and I've watched some of them, and a lot of people are grasping at straws to try to make a fucking thing together to hope that they're correct. We'll wait and see what happens. We'll wait. So I mean, we literally got a fucking like 3, not even that long. It was like a 2.5 minute trailer. It's very hard to sit here and say that you know what the whole fucking story is. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. That's been my rant on Final Fantasy 16. Uh, Obviously, James isn't as big of a fan of the series. He might end up getting into it. He might not. We'll see. I think if James was to play a Final Fantasy, I think your best bet would be probably waiting for 16 and playing one of the newer ones, and then going back to the older ones.
They need to make a Final Fantasy in VR.
That's right, dude. You're
You know how cool that would be?
trying to get on that VR kick, dude.
You know how cool that would be, though?
Oh, that'd be great. I don't disagree. I've said it 1,000 times to fucking any chick I've ever been with. If they make a fucking full-on Final Fantasy VII World VR that I can dive into like Sword Art Online, where like it shuts my nervous system down. I am actually in the game, moving around, doing all the shit that Cloud can do. Bro, there's no way I'm not going to try to spend the rest of my life trying to get with Virtual Tifa. This is not. I would never be on Dead Funny content. My Twitch would be shut down. I would literally just live in there. Just live in there. Just close the door, turn off the lights, hook me up to an IV, and leave me. Done. Done. That's ease, dude. That's ease. I would never come back out of the game. 100%. 100%. Got zero issues with that. Anyways, but we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, turn on notifications. That way you get notified next time we upload another video, especially if you're trying to follow the Final Fantasy 16 trailer reveal/review that we do and kind of talk about it, go into it. That's going to be your best way to know about that. Also, hit us up in the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts on Final Fantasy 16. Are you pumped for it? Do you play 14? Are you a big fan of that? Should I get started on that? I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm kind of really wanting to look at possibly jumping on 14 and actually playing that out. I've never been able to find an MMO that's actually grabbed me. So I feel like, obviously being done by my favorite video game company and in my favorite video game series, this could possibly be the one to do it. I have not played it at all. On top of that, make sure you hit those links down in the description below. We got the Twitters and the Twitches down there. And make sure you swing by, show us some love. We're always playing some video games. You'll catch me and James normally streaming together, but sometimes he's off doing his own shit. I'm doing my own shit. So make sure you stop by, show us some love, hit us with those follows. They're free, and they're the best way to kind of show us some support and kind of help with that, that mental state and everything else like that, especially during these quarantine times where this is all we have to do but to fucking sit back, relax, and chill with each other virtually. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time.